Welcome again to Aunty Joko's chair. It's my joy to be back after our last episode. Remember, I promised that today we will continue with coping strategies and mechanism to the topic we introduced, which was life pressures inspired by the present season of the year, which is the resumption of new session in schools. I want you to put in the comment section your coping strategy, because what I will be saying here is not just the solution to all the problems. I'll just mention some of the strategies that helped me personally and some that I know can help generally. But welcome comments and your own advice, your own counsel, the way you are able to cope, the way you handle these stress situations, and the way you are still handling it, because we are still in the new session. We want to address the coping strategies to many of the stress situations we addressed during the last episode. So the first coping strategy, a general one that I'll be talking about, is budgeting. And you may be wondering, why are we budgeting when the children have resumed school already? We can still budget, and it's not too late to write down based on your income and what you have, to be able to cut your coat, as they will always say, cut your coat according to your size or your clothes, the available thing that you have. And budgeting at times might not work as a result of many unexpected situations, like we mentioned during the last episode, that maybe you lost your job, or maybe the economic situation, business has not gone the way it should. What you expect to come in did not come in. But now the children are in school. You should work according to what you have. That's general. When you budget, it reduces your stress, because you will just be working on what you have. And the second thing generally that can help is when you prioritize. Give priority to the immediate need, things that cannot wait. Take for instance, if you have children maybe in preschool, you have children that will be transitioning from primary to secondary, and you also have a child who will also be beginning the new secondary school. If you have a 2-year-old that you want that child to start preschool, that child, maybe your income or what you have at the moment is not enough for the 3 children. I want to advise, is just an advice, that the 2-year-old can wait for now, can be at home where the child is getting your attention, the child is being exposed to many learning situations other than the one she gets from peers or from the school, so that you can give attention to someone who is transitioning, beginning secondary school, or someone who is going to new secondary school, to the senior secondary school. So when we prioritize and pay attention to the children who cannot wait, and honestly, there is no one who cannot wait, depending on our situation. But when we give priority to those ones who we cannot probably keep, because it is a very important phase of their life, it can also help. It can reduce our stress. Then we can also look at affordable schools. We can look at public schools. It doesn't have to be private. If you can afford private, fine. But if you cannot afford it and it's going to subject you to stress, look for public schools that you can afford. Most of our public schools are affordable by many people. You can also explore other options that are less stressful. That depends on your situation as a mother. I know mothers who homeschool their children who are in primary school. That will involve maybe a little training if you can do it. The most important thing is to be available for your children. Either they attend private school or they attend public school, be available. One of the things I discovered in my experience of working, especially in a private school, is that sometimes when parents pay so much in a private school, they leave everything for the school, for the teacher, for the school administration in terms of their children. You should still be available. If your children are in private school or they are in public school, be available for them. And one of the things that also help us to cope, we mentioned looking for transportation, conveying your children to school. There are days or there are things people do now. They look for a bike man or a keke rider to convey their children, and they pay them at the end of the month. That may work for you. But there is a word of caution that I want to say, and no offense at all to our bike riders and keke who have been doing so well, who have been faithful in rendering these services. But we also know that it's not all keke riders or the bike riders that you can entrust with your children. This could be very dangerous. It could be risky because these days trusting people fully can expose our children to abuse. It can make them to become vulnerable. So we must also pay attention to this. That's why in coping, you must be available for your children. Bearing the cost of transportation or sharing it, it is not something that is common in our culture, in most developed world. But I saw that it happened recently in a school that I was recently. In most of this developed world, it is not a shameful thing. It is not something out of place to approach your neighbor who is mobile, who has a car, to say, oh, can I share the cost of your fuel and you picking my children along with yours? It is something they will consider joyfully. But sometimes we feel entitled to so many things. If we have a neighbor who has a car, we think that because he has a car, he must pick my children every day. And we sometimes most of these things are not convenient even for the other family. So that's why we can approach neighbors or friends who are mobile. We can ask them that, can I pay monthly or weekly to share cost of your petrol while you pick my children along with your children? That can really be helpful, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. It's going to be more convenient if a parent in your child's school who is mobile can help you to pick your children in case they live very close to you, than trusting them to somebody who is a stranger to bring them and to take them back. When you volunteer to share the cost of fuel, it should not be something that is embarrassing or a conversation to have with somebody who is mobile. That, can you please allow me to share the cost of your fuel weekly while you take my children along with your children? That way, you know that this parent is going to that school and will be coming back from that school. And it's also good sometimes even to ride with that parent, and even to volunteer sometimes, even to also help to bring the children in case you are also mobile, and it's just probably because you don't have time. When we have this kind of conversation, it's helpful for everyone mutually that, oh, I can use my car this week, please use your car next week. That way we can reduce stress and burden on ourselves and on others. We should also try to extend a helping hand when we sense that a parent needs support. We all need each other to survive. I want to say this because, in our culture, it's like it's so difficult for you to ask for help. I remember a situation of a parent who was counseled to please seek the support system around you and ask for help for this your very brilliant child who will enter school. And this parent felt so angry. She felt that, oh, so I will now become a beggar. I will go and tell them my problem. And she refused. She refused to ask for help from the support system around maybe a relative, a friend. And we should also not wait if we sense the need to render a helping hand, because of many of these proud people who will not want to ask for help. But for the sake of the children who should not be kept at home because the parent cannot afford, we can also extend love. We can extend little scholarship to help his stressful parents all around us. I also want to say that for our children, we need to control the screen time, the number of hours they spend watching the television during school session, so that they can be able to cope with the new class, the new challenges, new assignments. We reduce screen time. In order to also cope with buying textbooks, we can also get textbooks passed from friends that are in higher classes or even siblings. If schools we want to complain, we can approach the school administrator to explain our situation, because there are some schools that might say that no, you must buy new books for your children. If we have that same book from an older sibling or from friends, we can approach the school to explain that my ward or my child has the books. It doesn't have to be new ones. Parents should support with homeworks and assignments. Remember in the last episode when I told you that our son started complaining about the assignment and the plenty work he has to face in the new class in secondary school? We sat him down and we helped with the assignment. We made sure that we are not the one writing the assignment. We just sat with him to give him support so that he can do the assignment knowing that we are supporting him. If you enjoyed this video, kindly subscribe to this channel, like, share, and comment. Like I was saying, there is actually no one strategy fits all in coping with the stress we can be going through this season. For me, I'm a Christian, and I know there are people of other faith watching us. So another coping strategy that can help is your faith. And I know even if you're not a Christian, you might be a Muslim or any other faith, at least you have something that you believe in. At this time that we go through these pressures and stress, our faith can really help. For me, the words in the scriptures has helped me most of the times when I'm stressed or I'm under pressure. There is a passage in Matthew 11:28 where Jesus was inviting those who are burdened to come. He said, "Come to me and I will give you rest. All of you who work so hard, who are beneath heavy laden, who are going through so much stress." He said, "Come to me." He said, "I will give you rest." This works for me, but those of other faith can explore other options related to their faith. And another thing that has helped me, still talking about my faith, I know that the God we serve defends the cause of the fatherless and the widows, and even widowers. He gives justice to the fatherless and widows, and he loves foreigners, and he gives them food and clothing. So we can explore all sorts of strategy that works for us. Some people will say yoga, meditation, anything that you believe in. But for me, my faith has helped me a lot. Anytime I'm worried, I take time off, I retreat, I speak to God, and I get direction on how to go about solving the problems. So remember, you can also do this. The key is balance. Like we mentioned, just know the balance. Know how to embrace the positive things that drive you to do better, that drive you to cope with the stress. Remember, you need support system in the mosque, in the church, among relatives. We all need it. We need one another. And don't be too proud to ask for help. And also, if you enjoyed this video, kindly subscribe to this channel, like, share, and comment. Like I was saying, there is actually no one strategy fits all in coping with the stress we can be going through this season. For me, I'm a Christian, and I know there are people of other faith watching us. So another coping strategy that can help is your faith. And I know even if you're not a